Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are
Thanks so
you?
much for being here today. You're watching EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade. So, Tavi, you're a young gal, you start writing a fashion blog.
Yeah.
What was kind of the initial spur for that?
I was just really bored and I read other blogs, and because I was born in 1996, it did not seem crazy to have one.
Back in the day, kids weren't allowed to have blogs.
Yeah.
Back in most of the early 90s, actually.
When the only people who used it were like hackers. Things have changed a lot.
One thing that I think is so interesting about Rookie is that on one hand, you're dealing with really heavy topics, but there's also this incredible playfulness to the design and to the kind of tone. How do you kind of go about balancing that? Or is that even something that you guys think about?
I mean, from the beginning, I remember that was part of my intention. I was like, I don't want it to be all light posts about like TV shows or whatever, but I also don't want it to be like the New Yorker for children. Like, I don't know, I guess I wanted something that could help people but still be accessible.
The New Yorker for children is going to be your next thing, though. That's you're kind of gradually building up to.
Yeah,
all
it'll
long-form
be
pieces.
horrible. Yeah.
What are your kind of like inspirations?
Right now I'm reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I'm like,
That book is awesome.
yeah, and it's not just inspiring me in the way of like, I want to write a book too, but in the sense that it's like, how can I give myself permission to do all the things I want to do? I think of people like David Byrne or Susan Sontag or Kanye West who are like never content to stick with one thing.
So you're from Chicago. Kanye's from Chicago. You guys hang out, I assume.
Gosh, no. I've been trying to get him to do a Rookie thing for so long. I really want Lorde to interview Kanye for Rookie.
Okay.
I think that would be amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Lorde is on board. No, but like she's down.
Hashtag Lorde is on board.
God, no, she's down. I just really need Kanye to get with it and like understand what a good look it would be.
Well, now, you're someone, you've done so much writing for the internet, and I'm always kind of interested to know, like, when you're writing for the internet versus writing something for The Believer or writing something for print, is there any kind of different sort of mental muscle you're using?
It's definitely different. There's there's like more immediacy when you're writing for something online. When people write for the internet, a lot of ideas get lost. Like, it's so easy to just like indulge yourself. So I try all of our pieces are edited, and I try and really make sure that it's like every piece is as special as if it were in print, which is then why we put out our books.
Right. So, Tavi, I saw you on stage on Broadway last night, which is not something I can tell everybody. You're in This Is Our Youth. That's a nice big step to take when you're just kind of starting out.
Yeah.
You're playing the character Jessica, who is currently going to the Fashion Institute. Are you kind of grasping on to some shared character traits?
When we started rehearsing in Chicago, I identified a lot with her current situation, just her general like confusion about the world.
Sure.
I mean, you're like not a kid anymore, and you're not even really a teenager anymore, but you're not like a settled adult.
Jessica in the play had one line that really kind of resonated with me. She's talking to Michael Cera's character, and she has the line about how, you know, who you are now is not who you're going to be 10 years from now.
Last night, I read an old Rookie piece that I wrote for some reason, and there's a part that is so almost identical to one of the monologues. And yeah, she talks about how like you'll change and you'll become a completely different person. And I guess I did. Like I wrote that down, and then now people are like, oh, do you identify with that thing Jessica says? And I'm like, no.
This is such a like through the rabbit hole thing. Like you
so
said now, there's no way I would ever think that. And in fact, you used to think that like,
yeah,
at some point in the
it's
past.
really twisted.
Do you tend to kind of like look back on like how you used to be? 'Cause, you know, a lot of times writers never read stuff that they wrote before.
Like you can so easily get like embarrassed by things that you wrote, even though like you had to write that bad thing in order to write whatever thing you're writing now that you think is good. There's a TED Talk Elizabeth Gilbert gave about this where she's like talking about following up Eat, Pray, Love and being really stressed out about not being like struck with inspiration again. And she was like, you have to view all that as like something external that comes to you, and you're lucky if you receive it, but it's not totally reflective of you or of your ability.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, most writers are writers specifically because they don't want to be on stage in front of 800 people or so.
The day I started Rookie, I also started keeping a journal for myself. And so I've been keeping that up for years, and so right now that's more important to me.
And that's totally private. That's just writing.
Right.
I find that very often sometimes when you have a personal blog, like that just becomes everything gets sort of focalized.
Yeah, no, it should not be a form of therapy, and it's really good to learn how to do creative things just for yourself.
Is there one kind of creative thing that you enjoy doing more?
You know, right now I'm focused on the play. and I love doing it. If nothing comes up that I'm interested in being in after this for a while, that's okay, because I like the other stuff I do too. Like with writing, that's a time where like you're self-reflective and you think a lot about yourself, and it's about your point of view. And with acting, you get to leave all of that.
Yeah, it's so cool. It feels like we live in this time of like multi-hyphenates. Like Kanye West
Right.
doesn't just have to do this kind of music. You know, he can do some fashion if he wants to on the side.
And it's not about like doing a bunch of things just for the sake of it, but I don't know, I like being able to try everything.
Watch all of EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade.